Hey, I'm Matt, and we're here in the JC Raulston Arboretum with Director Mark Weathington. We've been friends for a little while here.
Yeah, I think at least as long as I've been here, coming on 15 years.
We used to come bug you about different grafting techniques. I think we'd take you out to dinner just to bug you and pick your mind about different possibilities of
now
things.
the tables have turned. Now if I have a maple question, I'm getting on y'all and say, hey, have you heard this? Have you seen this? Where can I find it? And usually it's at your place.
Well, it feels like, we were just discussing, I think I was here in 2019 was the last time, but it feels like 10 years because I love this place. Any Japanese maple lover should be so excited to get to the JC Raulston Arboretum. It's one of my favorite gardens for maples. What are some of your favorite highlights here about maples?
Well, the maples here, I got to go say that this was one of JC's favorite plants, and he kind of set it up where anywhere you are, you should be able to see a Japanese maple, which I liked when I got here because my kids were young. They're all grown up and gone now, but they would come out with me, and they would go out and try and find a spot without any Japanese maples. So, I love them all. We're a small garden, so, I tend to go towards the dwarfs, the Makawa Yatsubusas and those types. And, more and more designers are looking for upright and narrow, fastigiate plants. So I love those Japanese maples. But, there's so much out there, the species. That's where I get really excited. And down here in the South, there are more and more of these evergreen species that we're finding that do well for us, and that's just crazy.
There's some cool ones here. You might have seen it on our page with that Hong Long. I think at one point we'd grafted that for you, and we're like, you have to put a name on this or we're naming it after you. It's too cool. It's like the coolest looking plant. So there's some fun ones out there. There's not a lot has been done with new species too. So I love when there's something new.
Yeah, it's there are plants out there, and a lot of them are are really in restricted locations in the wild. They're endangered, and so getting them into cultivation and getting them into nurserymen's hands, I think is critical. There are some folks out there that want to keep endangered plants endangered. And that's the best way to lose them all. If we have people growing them and sharing them around, it's it's conservation through propagation. I think it's critical. Think about Franklinia, found twice in the wild, hasn't been seen since, but we've got it in gardens. We know about it. So
there's some amazing plants in this garden. I mean, the symbol for this place is a Japanese maple. I think I'm a sucker for the T-shirt every year. I have to get one just because of the maple context there. But it's one of my favorite maple gardens, bar none. I mean, anywhere. So we're excited to get back out here and re-explore it. I feel like I'm coming back home to this place because I always feel like I love this place so much. But I feel like we're getting to re-explore it, and we're definitely going to have to come down here and do some more shoots in leaf. I know we're early here, being in early March, but
yeah, you're gonna have to come down. We've got some fun things, although much of the newer things have come from you guys. But yeah, I think people are, if they haven't been really paying attention, they've missed the boat on maples, the trident maples, which are just tough as nails. They're great urban trees that a lot's been done with. So now it's not just the traditional Japanese maples, but you get the color, form, everything from all these different species. It's great.
Mark, I appreciate you just jumping on camera with us real quick, and thank you for all you do for maples and all you do for our business too. You've been super helpful to us over the years, and we just greatly appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing. We need more people getting these great plants out there.
So I couldn't help but interview Mark while Matt was interviewing Mark as well. So I wanted to jump in here. Mark, what is it about Japanese maples that you like?
Well, variety is the spice of life. There's nothing I hate worse than driving down a road and having everybody seeing everything exactly the same one after another. I like what's different and new. And so, you could drive through a neighborhood, you could drive through Raleigh just about and have every single house have a different Japanese maple in front of it. So that's the biggest thing I like. Also, they're so tough. They're beautiful, they're graceful. You got one for every spot. You need upright, you need small, you need really a kind of medium small shade tree. That's it's just hard to beat that. It's hard to beat the form year round. it's early spring here now, and so we're still dormant with our maples, but now you can see the form on them, and that's gorgeous. It just, yeah, they're four-season beautiful plants.
So if someone, you've had a lot of experience with Japanese maples out in the gardens here. If you knew of someone that was interested in possibly growing a Japanese maple, what would be your best advice for them?
My best advice is look at the space you have, because the worst thing you can do with a Japanese maple, and we do it a lot here, but the worst thing you can do is crowd it. Mm-hmm. Because they've got such spectacular form. And as you know, even just the species, a green leaf Japanese maple, if it's planted out, it gets this beautiful habit and then insane fall color. But if you don't have that kind of space, there are a lot of medium ones and small ones and really small ones. So even if you're in a townhouse and you're not allowed to plant anything other than a container, I've got a little Makawi Yatsubusa and Brayusin in 2 different containers in front of my house. And they're tough, I don't water plants very often. And they survive even with my neglect out there. So that's the key, is figure out what the space is and get one that'll fit in that, whether it's a weeper, upright, narrow, that's the key.
So out of the JC Raulston, y'all have got a ton of Japanese maples here, a ton.
Yeah, I used to think a lot until I found out how many y'all were growing. We've got about 250. I don't even want to ask y'all.
What are your highlights here of Japanese maples? What's some of your favorite spots in the garden, or your favorite Japanese maples?
Well, certainly our Japanese garden. We've got some beautiful ones there, and those really selected mostly for form and fall color. In the spring, I love Higasayama. Love that. I mean, that just doesn't even look real, that variegation on there. Hanamatoy, that lacy pink. But I'm a plant lover. And whatever's the new cool one, as long as it looks different, I get excited about that. So usually I see you guys coming with a plant in your hand. I'm like, oh yeah, there's something good coming down the pike here. What is it going to be?
We always try to bring something interesting when we come. Hopefully something that can add something to what you have here at the JC Raulston. I go through your online plant listings, figuring out from my wish list, and then I look and see what you have that I could add to it.
Yeah, that's that's the fun thing is when you get into this, being able to trade plants back and forth. And we have a lot of members here at the Arboretum who are customers of y'all's, who are Maple Society members and things like that. And we just had a grafting workshop, and people were grafting, but not even just for their yards. They're grafting so that they could trade with their friends and get something from them. And it's when you love something this much, you want to share it with everybody.
Well, Mark, we appreciate you letting us come here today and shoot some videos. I hope everyone's going to enjoy these videos. And as always, like Matt said, we appreciate you too. Appreciate everything that you mean to this Arboretum and to us as a nursery, because you helped us so much as we were starting out and trying to figure things out.
Well, I take credit for all of your success.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, it's great talking with you.